I just want to thank FUBAR Racing to sending this awesome thing, which is made out of billet, and it's just awesome. I need like 5 minutes alone with this. I'm going to be doing a shorter video as well as this video on just basically installing this. So if you've got a 1UZ or a 2UZ or a 3UZ engine, this will work. It is awesome, and a big thank you to them for sending it to me. I'll leave all the links down below. You should check out the Facebook. The builds they do is unbelievable. But he did say he was going to send me a perpetual motion machine, and I mean, this is terrible. Absolutely terrible. I mean, yeah, even if you do it that way, it's terrible. But it's going to be awesome as a tensioner. So go and check them out. This is what you need, believe me. It's awesome. And there we go. And when I was doing the video first, I didn't obviously know about them. So when I was going through everything, I was just kind of in my head going through stuff. And then halfway through the video, I realized you could get this. And I got it. And it's brilliant. Sorted. Hello and welcome to another Bodgit and Leggit video now. Everyone, well not everyone, but a lot of people are kind of moaning and complaining about the noisy alternator. And believe me, I know. But also what you got to remember is I've only just got this car. There's lots and lots of things to improve, like we said on the video, like that battery. That battery is just, it's just no. We're putting a proper race battery in it. There's a lot of stuff we're doing. So there is an issue with the alternator. So we are going to sort it out in this video. And as you can see from the dash, when it actually sets, the battery voltage is very low. So let's just see this. It goes down to 9, but it's not charging. And when I rev it, you can hear the, you can actually hear the alternator squealing, which is no good. We know that. So what I am going to do is, there's a few things that look dodgy. I have checked all the wires and everything. The wires are all okay. There's no power coming out of the alternator directly from the alternator. But also, as you can hear, the fan belt is squealing. So the tensioner looks a bit dodgy, but also, in my opinion, the fan belt looks to be too big because there's been things taken off this engine. Well, I'll show you. Let's get to the engine and I'll actually show you. Right, I am kind of convinced that the alternator is dodgy, but when we get down to the tensioner, where my finger is, look, you can see the tensioner is at its full travel. That tensioner cannot go any further. Yes, I know it's rusty, but also the tensioner can't go any further. So that fan belt, you can see there is rust on it. This needs to be ran properly and it needs to be all cleaned off. But that tensioner cannot go any further. So we need to shorten this belt, because the shorter the belt is, if we bring the belt up here, for example, that tensioner can move back. But I don't know if the tension is a bit dodgy, so I'm going to have to try and see if the tension is dodgy, the fan belt is too small, and possibly the alternator as well. The joys! But like I said, there's a lot of stuff to shake down on this car that we are going to do in separate videos and do separate things. We're not happy about the way the suspension's set up. We're not happy about the way the radiator's set up. There's a lot of things we're not happy about that we want to sort out. Why is it always the simple jobs turn out to be a nightmare? Now, as you can see, this is the water pump. Now, there was a viscous fan on this, but it's been taken away for an electric fan, so that's okay. But as you can see, look, that moves. I shouldn't be able to move that by hand. Not only that, this is like backwards. On the original car, you had a power steering pump here, so the belt actually ran over the top of this and goes up to a pulley here. And as you can see, that's all been taken out on this car. So I don't know what I'm going to do now, because the problem is, let me get a spanner and I'll show you. This essentially is going the wrong way. So I was hoping I would just undo this, take the belt off and shorten it. But as I push on the tensioner, it's actually tightening the belt. It's not loosening it. So I don't know at the minute what I'm going to do. This belt has to be ran in a different place. I don't know yet We have to run it through obviously the alternator, the bottom cam, or the bottom one, and the water pump. This one doesn't really, is not necessary for what we need, but the others are. So I need to work out now what I can do with this. This might be awkward. Right, because I'm on my own, I've got to do what I've got to do. I've wedged the tensioner down to try and put pressure on it, just to see if the alternator will charge. I can't turn that now. I just want to see what will happen. This could go twang and destroy everything, but I don't think it will. I'm going to leave the camera running just in case, because this could be a viral video if it just goes and breaks everything around it. No, still doesn't charge. I didn't think it does, but is it? Right, it's not squeaking anymore, but it's not charging. So just as I thought, two separate issues. So the belt is now tight enough, but obviously we can't keep it that way, but we're still not charging. Right, I came in today thinking this is just going to be easy, and unfortunately the tensioner is the wrong way. So it needs the power steering pump this side of the tensioner to actually tension the bolt. So this job is going to be an absolute nightmare, but there's a ray of hope. I've just found this company called FUBAR Racing, which is a fantastic name, and I'll tell you what it stands for in a second. But they do a special kit that actually comes down here and completely removes this tensioner here, because this is now useless, and it still goes on here, and it allows me to tension the belt from underneath. Right, I turned off my dead man switch, and now what I'm going to do is, because that's disconnecting the battery so we've got no power, I'm just going to take off this top bolt, take off the power, and there's a clip, or there's a couple of wires behind. We're going to whip off this alternator. We're going to get this sorted first, and then we can worry about everything else after. Lovely jubbly, sorted. Right, so all I've done, I've taken off the actual lead there. That was a 13mm, and then on the top bolt that was a 14mm, and there's going to be another bolt underneath. Hopefully we've got enough room to slide it past the radiator just to actually get it out. And obviously there is a clip, you can just see it kind of at the back there, just a couple of wires going into there. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this off and send it away and get this baby sorted. Right, we're underneath now, and you can see there's two bolts. Well, there's only one bolt left, but the FUBAR system actually works off this bolt and this bolt, I believe, and it basically bolts on under here, and you use that as the actual tensioner. And also what they told me, and I just didn't think, but of course the timing belt is running the water pump. This was just for the viscous fan, so we don't need that anymore, and we don't need the top pulley. So all we need is this pulley and this pulley and their pulley. That's all we need. Our fan belt is going to be really short. We don't need all the other stuff, which is just going to be awesome. And it's just going to make my life a lot easier, and obviously just so much easier to adjust and everything. Sorted. Right, so I've just taken the back plug off, and look, very, very bad connections. This could be our issue. Our alternator could actually be fine. It could just be that. But I'm going to clean all that with electrical connector. But I want to take this out anyway. I would sooner get it checked out, because I might even go for a slightly bigger one, slightly higher amperage one. I'm going to see what amperage this one is, and then there we go. But I'm hoping I can actually get this out. So this is the bottom bolt. Now this kit that I'm getting from FUBAR Racing, it's been specially designed to use the existing bolts, and you don't need any, because these are obviously special torque bolts, but you don't need any bolts. And I think he said it's like the 4th revision, so that, you know, they've worked out all the kinks, and you use the existing bolts. You don't need extra long bolts, you don't need anything. It's been worked out perfectly to work, which is absolutely awesome. But anyway, once we get that, we'll actually show you. So what we're going to do is we're going to take out this bottom 14mm bolt, and then hopefully, I don't know if we've got enough room to actually remove this with the setup we've got. So So let's see. Please, please. Oh no! Hold on. It's out, but thank God. Yeah, look at all the crap. See that? That's all the belt gone into that. That's regardless. This needs looking at and cleaning. But can I actually get it out? Let me just get the camera off. But once I get that on the deck, we'll see. Oh yeah, we're gonna be good. Are you filming?
Is that not what I meant to do?
No, not yet.
I thought I'm the film man.
You gotta stand up there.
Okay.
Right, just stop it.
Huh?
Fuck it out.
What? Is this not what you want?
Just keep going back. See that cliff there? Keep going.
Yeah,
Keep going.
I've got it in frame now.
Have you got me in frame? Is that wide? Right, just start a new video. So cancel that.
I'm
not cancel it. No, well, I use it, but I want to start this as fresh.
Okay.
But it's designed for a bolt-on part. Now, if you know anything about rally cars or aftermarket or anything like that, me and Brian both know bolt-on parts never are bolt-on. You always have to do something, and it's a nightmare. You spend a fortune on a part, and it's not bolt-on. This is bolt-on. If you come under here, you'll see the original bolts for the alternator. So you've got two original bolts for the alternator, and you've got one here for I think it's just for the timing belt cover. But it's not into plastic, obviously. This bolts on to the two original bolts, and it uses the original bolts. You can see it's all been dished out, so you don't need any special bolts, no nothing. All you need to do is actually buy this, and I'm going to show you how to install it now. It is awesome, people. FUBAR Racing. Go and check them out. The builds they do are phenomenal. They're just, you'll see on their Facebook page, they're actually putting a twin cam engine turbo, I believe, into a smart car, and they've done twin turbo 1UZs, and it's just, go and check them out. Believe me, you won't be disappointed. Sorted. Two 14mm what hold the actual alternator on. We need to loosen the top one, and we need to take this bottom one completely out, which is 14mm. Then what we need to do is completely take off the 12mm just above the timing belt tensioner. So this just comes off. And then this one here, just above the timing belt tensioner, comes off as well. And like I said, we can use the original bolts that actually come along with this. So the original bolt goes in, as you can see, it's all dished out. It allows you to get the socket on it again. So I'm just going to put that on that one, put the 14mm one back, and once we have tightened this in, it is, oh actually hold on, I need to take that spacer off because this is now acting as the washer. We don't need that. We don't need the washer on this bolt because the actual bracket itself is acting as
a big giant washer.
Yeah. So
it won't come off, will it?
We'll have to cut that. So we're going to have to cut that washer off, and this is acting as our big giant washer. So this is just a quick look from the top what it actually looks like. It looks good, and it is just a bolt-on part. It is so nice and refreshing to have a bolt-on part. Right, now as you can see, this is what it looks like from underneath, and it's very easy. This is your adjuster, so you screw this bolt all the way down. This will allow this to move up and down, which will actually tighten your fan belt. And once you've got it in the right position, you use the locking nut at the back, and that will actually keep it in the right position. So I'll show you that now. Right, the belt I'm using is a 5PK 775. This will accept a 6PK, but this was the only belt I could get at the time, and because of lockdown and all that. But anyway, so 5PK 775. What you do, you just screw this up. As you can see, the tensioner is going up. And all we do, once we think we get it right, we can just test the tension by the top of the belt to see if it'll turn 90 degrees. And if it turns more, just keep twisting up. It might get to a point where you need a socket on it, but yeah, I need to go a bit more, so it's going to get a socket on it. I can still do it by hand.
I'm pretty interested to see if it will help the car in general, like the power steering and whatnot.
We'll
so
soon find out, because we've never been charging, so we don't know if it's putting enough amps into our power steering pump.
Yeah.
And we're going to see now, once we do this, if this solves all our issues. It's going to solve our squeaking fan belt issue, so that can stop people from moaning.
Yeah.
And then yeah, so all you do is you keep screwing that up, and then we turn the fan belt 90 degrees. Then what we do is we lock in place here, this bolt, and then we just get, what is it, a 17 mil, I think, at the back.
They didn't skimp out on the pulley either. It's a real
It's
good
a genuine pulley, yeah. Yeah, a 17 mil at the back, and then we lock this in place, and that's it. It's all done. Sorted. Let's see what it sounds like, if we've got any more squealing, and let's see what our race dash says about the voltage. Right, the moment of truth. Our alternator's been reconditioned. We've got our new bracket. We've got our new fan belt. Let's see, does it charge? No. Yes! Oh, I didn't think it was doing it, but it's doing it. Look at that. I was looking at Brian thinking, shit, it's not doing it. Woo! Sorted.
So apparently everyone was complaining about this fan belt that was screeching in there. Obviously, yay! No more screeching now.